here they come, the Pro Stock finalists. It'll be Sox and Martin's Hemi Cuda against Wally Booth's rat-motored Camaro. A big one for both drivers. Sox wants to keep his fantastic win record alive. He knows Wally Booth is eager to spoil it. Four straight Pro Stock Eliminator titles for Sox and Martin Clemens at NHRA national events.
Back in the day, in almost every high school in America, there was a group of young people, organized either in or out of school, that loved cars and loved to work on them. However, after decades of dominance, it seems that this young person's car culture is on the decline, as less and less high schoolers know how to work on their cars, and instead of learning, shove the responsibility on mechanics. This is the death of America's car culture that we came to love in musicals like Grease. This is the death of all motorheads, and this is its obituary.
Burned out of the staging area.
What?
No, I do not.
It's a tire.
Cool.
Okay. No, I do not. I'm sorry.
Don't interrupt me, sir.
Nope. A tire.
No.
Do you know how to change?
Nope.
No.
No way. No way. Not really.
No, I do not.
What's a battery?
No.
As you could see, not very many students knew how to work on their vehicles. Out of the several students that we questioned, only 20% said that they knew how to do even basic maintenance on their vehicles, which includes things like changing an air filter or a battery, something that a mechanic can do without barely thinking. In America, there's said to be 16.3 million high school students, and the Department of Transportation quotes that there's 277,421,120 vehicles registered in the United States. That's a 15 cars to student ratio. So it's not a lack of cars or vehicles that's holding back students. What is? We decided to ask someone that we considered a car expert to answer the question for us. Okay. I'm sure you've noticed that in America, a lot of kids don't really know how to work on their cars. Do you think that is a sign that car culture is on the decline in America?
I don't think that car culture necessarily is on a decline. I think that people still have an interest in automobiles. I think perhaps that the complexity of modern cars, coupled with I think people are less inclined to work on their own items anymore. You know, the times when you used to have a toaster or a microwave oven repaired are gone, you just replace it. Well, with cars, I think it's similar in the sense that the complexity combined with a change in American culture towards repairing things has kind of led people to just not repair their own cars as much.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that do you think that this new younger generation, like kids who are in first grade or whatever now, are going to possibly revive the glory days of the car culture that we saw in musicals like Grease?
Yeah, I don't know that those glory days are necessarily done. I always think there's that subculture of people out there that, that gravitate towards working on cars and customization. So I think that still exists. I don't think that's went away. As far as the next generation, you have to look at what kind of cars that they'll be working on and how easy they are to customize or service. I think they're going to be more challenged because regulations, inspection procedures, and the complexity of modern cars, which I keep going back to, but it is a factor, are going to hinder. It's a lot more difficult to work on those type of cars and customize them to the degree of what you're talking about in Greece. So I think it's there. I think it'll continue. I just think that people have to learn to adapt to the type of cars that they're working on.
So do you think that car culture will continue to grow and prosper in America, or do you think it's going to become a sort of nightmare land where the new generation of high school students are going to rely more on mechanics as we progress?
You know, it seems to me that car culture, I mean, there's always a certain level of consistency with it, but there's also the ebbs and flows, you know, depending on what the automakers are putting out new, tends to also influence what people are doing to old cars. I think it'll continue. I think that the complexity of modern cars, which might tend to put some people off, I think that becomes commonplace after a while and people start to adapt. So I think you're going to see some consistency with a little bit of growth because in general America, we're a car country. We love our cars. It's very well known. And I think that you're going to see the interest in that just continue to grow at a steady pace.